The most active season of the year right now, but if you have joint pain, you can't live like you want to. Hip pain, knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain, it sucks the fun out of living. But I've got fantastic news. QC Kinetics is helping people here get the fun back with advanced regenerative treatments from local medical professionals. Regenerative medicine is the hottest thing going. It's basically taking growth factors with healing properties from your own body, highly concentrated, and then putting them into your aching joints. This exciting in-office non-surgical treatment can repair and restore damaged tissue in your joints, giving you real lasting relief from pain. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in these cutting-edge, all-natural options, and the patient satisfaction reports are incredible. They have over 100 clinics nationwide, including right here. Yes, you can get real relief from pain with no surgery, no drugs, no downtime. Stop putting it off. Call QC Kinetics now and get a totally free in-office consultation. Call 828-333-9517. In Asheville and in Greenville, that's 828-333-9517.
Repeat after me. I, Kevin, take you, Susan.
I, Kevin, take you, Susan.
It's Jamie from Progressive.
Jamie!
No, it's all right. I can talk. Progressive protects you 24/7, which means you can contact us anytime. I'm getting a loud shh sound, so I'm going to talk louder. What can I help you with today? Oh, yeah, Progressive can do that. Ugh, there's that noise again. Hold on. Let me put you on speaker.
Contact us 24/7 on the phone, online, or on the mobile app. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Covered subject to policy terms.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. But not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
It's the store-wide savings event at Mattress Warehouse. Save up to 70%, plus get free next-day delivery. With mattresses starting at $99, there's a mattress to fit every budget. And they offer 0% interest financing store-wide. Visit Mattress Warehouse.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
I'm Doug Brown. The countdown is on for Game 6 of the NBA Finals. Warriors and Celtics in Boston, with Golden State one win away from another title. ESPN's Richard Jefferson says one of the guys who must prevent that tonight is Celtics forward Jason Tatum.
Bro, you are first-team All-NBA. If you are a first-team All-NBA player, that means you are one of the top 5 players in the world this season. You need to perform in the fourth quarter.
Richard Jefferson on First Take. Game 6 coverage starts at 8 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ABC TV. Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson says he believes he'll play the rest of his career in Baltimore, but he won't say whether he'll report to training camp without a new contract. Jackson is scheduled to make $23 million this year on his 5th-year option. Round 1 at the U.S. Open today near Boston, fresh off his win at the Canadian Open. Rory McIlroy shares the lead right now after a 3-under 67 today. 4 others also at 3 under with 5 more, only 1 shot back.
How would you love a chance to save some money on car insurance? Geico can help. Switch today and see all the ways you could save with great rates and discounts. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com to get a rate quote and get started seeing how much you could save.
In the heart of Beer City, USA, 2 men, 1 journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their shit. Let's go! Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. And Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. I'm Tank Spencer. Jeremy Greene is here as well. And we are here for a great afternoon. The U.S. Open has opened up. We got the NBA Finals going on. Game 6 tonight. Boston Celtics, Golden State Warriors.
I watched hockey. All of it.
Hockey.
All of it. And I have just locked in on a sport where I don't know any of the players.
No,
they could have made up the names. I would not be any the wiser.
Tampa Bay Lightning losing the first game of the series to the Colorado Avalanche in overtime. You had that one?
I did.
Good for you.
I'm very in on the Avalanche.
Very good for you. Stanley Cup Finals underway. We got NFL offseason stuff. Lamar Jackson. There's they're not trade talks. There's contract talks that are continuing with Lamar Jackson. And we're going to talk some baseball today.
If you like sports that we don't often talk about, this is going to be just a banner day for you. Now, I will not be involved in the baseball conversation.
Yeah, he's going to step out. Caleb Peak is going to come in and join.
Well, I mean, here's the thing: if you want to hear baseball talk, you don't want to hear it from me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not exactly the one that's going to bring that to you.
Come on, Atlanta Braves on a hot streak. You got the Padres chasing down the Dodgers. Some life being shown by some teams in the AL as well as some teams that have just taken a nosedive here lately. We'll talk about it with Caleb Peak coming up in the 4 o'clock hour, or I guess I will discuss it with Caleb Peak while you go.
I'm going to go eat a protein bar in the break room.
Well,
at least that's my personal plan.
That's a good idea. Yeah, we got it all going on here in the Sportsocracy. We are heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Coming to you live from the Ingles Studio. Ingles Supermarkets, low prices, love the savings. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can get in on the conversation with us throughout the program as well. Plus, we had a trade in the NBA.
Yeah, we had a trade that makes very, very little sense for one of the teams involved.
Yeah, but not the important one.
Houston just looked at this and went, we don't want to be good.
Yeah, exactly. So the Dallas Mavericks and the Houston Rockets making a trade. We'll give you the details on coming up later on in the program. First up, U.S. Open.
From the country club in Brookline, Massachusetts.
I think that's one of the things that I never got about golf. Is like whenever you talk about it, you have to try to talk in a British accent. You just sound pretentious.
Well, that's fine. I mean, that's how you have to talk about golf.
Is with an accent.
Absolutely.
You can't.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. You can't go Joe Dirt like I usually do and talk about golf. Those two things just don't quite line up.
Oh, sure you can.
However, I will say we're 2/3 of the way through the first round.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I've determined unequivocally? There is nobody in this venue that cares about the LIV guys.
No.
Nobody. We've talked about this ad nauseum. There hasn't been – I have not heard one thing said to them. Phil got probably the most raucous ovation I've heard for anybody all day long.
Mm-hmm.
And all this does is confirm to me everything I said to the PGA Tour weeks ago. You have made a mountain out of a molehill.
Right. They got their feelings hurt. That's what this is about.
And that's fine. I would argue the best thing that could possibly happen for the PGA Tour is that you have Rory around for the weekend, who's been the most outspoken critic of these LIV guys. And you have 2 or 3 of them that are in contention. That breeds at least some kind of animus, which when there's no Tiger Woods, there's not a lot of that.
Right.
Tiger is still, to this day, the one real villain to some in golf. He's the most popular player on tour, but he's the one player that you have some form of a feeling about.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was Phil, that would be best case scenario. I just don't see any way that's going to happen. This is far too difficult of a golf course. This is far too long of a golf course for him to be a contender.
What would it have hurt the PGA to just let it go? Just let it go. Let it exist. Let the guys play in it and don't treat it like a competitor. It's almost as if you made it happen. You made this a thing.
Absolutely they did. Absolutely they did. And now it's a thing that you can't get away from. And it's I heard the Brooks Koepka quote of it. It's a black cloud over the proceedings.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not. No, it's not. And everything I've seen today has just proven that the vast majority of golf fans, I'm not saying there aren't people that care.
There are. In
terms of golf fans, you want to see good golf. If you've got tickets to this thing, you're excited to see the U.S. Open. The rest of those things, that's ancillary.
Mm-hmm.
You're not thinking about that while you're sitting on the first tee box. Is that not how you were watching it when I got here?
I haven't heard them mention it once.
Oh, Mike Tirico mentioned it no less than 47 times.
Did he? Okay.
Now, when they switched the coverage, I don't know what's happened since then. We turned it down at that point.
Yeah.
But it's really not been a thing, at least for the coverage. But I would argue there are a few guys like Kevin Na. Kevin Na was tied for the lead. He had an ugly hole a minute ago.
Uh-oh.
But if it wasn't for the LIV thing, would you care? Would you see his name on the leaderboard and have any reason to care?
No.
No. And that's exactly what I tried to say. You're getting free promotion.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to make this the end of days. How many – look, I'm wearing a Nike shirt as we speak, so I kind of is what it is. How many of these guys are sponsored by Nike?
Right.
Well, Google it. It's not that hard to figure out.
Mm-hmm.
You can be upset. You can make a thing about this. You also can't do it while you're accepting money on the other side.
Agreed.
It just doesn't work that way.
Agreed.
Not without being disingenuous.
Yeah. So far, you've got a full leaderboard. You've got 5 guys now at 3.
Andrew
under par.
Novak, Joel Damon, David Lingmerth, and Callum Tarrant, all tied with Rory McIlroy.
The only name you know.
I will be honest with
As
you. If
a
it
casual
wasn't
golf fan, that's the only one that I know.
If it wasn't for the LIV thing, there would be 4 names under par right now that you even know who they are. And that's the thing I've never been able to figure out. Why are you so opposed to this?
Mm-hmm.
Did you notice that the U.S. Open bumped up the purse?
No.
Yeah, it's 17.5 now.
Really?
You're almost where the LIV is.
Mm-hmm.
Is that not exactly what Phil was trying to say? That having a competitive entity is what will get the PGA Tour to act?
Yep.
The purse didn't, and now look, I can't say that that's why it went up. But I can tell you it didn't come out till Tuesday.
I would say it had something to do with it.
It went up $1.5 million. It went from 16 to 17.5. That's exactly what Phil was trying to say.
Maybe that was the PGA's. Maybe that was their goal all along. Let's turn this into a thing. Let's try to build a rivalry. Would they go that 3D chess with it?
What do you mean?
Of let's pump up the series and cause a problem, and that could be good for us. I don't know.
No, them just existing is. I mean, this is not going to be popular to some people. The LIV existing is good for golf.
Yes, it is.
Because in any sport, for it to have real merit and to have real interest, there has to be a villain and there has to be a good guy. Right now, LIV's the villain, PGA Tour's the good guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. The biggest problem with the NBA Finals, which, by the way, have rated horrendously. NBA, please tell me how you're going to spin that this has not been an abject disaster. The problem is that there's nobody to root against.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a Laker fan, yeah, you can root against the Celtics. Anybody really hate Steph Curry?
No.
Anybody hate Jason Tatum?
No.
Anybody hate Jaylen Brown?
No.
You got Draymond Green. There's a lot of people who don't like him. He's also the 4th best player on his own team.
I was going to say.
There's no animus there.
Mm-hmm.
Of course your ratings are terrible. You'll get to this point. I would say they'll go up a little bit tonight, not as much as people think. And the PGA was gifted this. Just fell out of the sky. Now, here is your villain. Here's the Joker. Batman, go do your thing. And now that's all we want to talk about. That's all that's been discussed in any of these media days. And I don't get it. I don't understand how you can't look at this and go, good thing, we'll moving on.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe that's it. Maybe they know they need a villain. They don't have a villain. So let's make the LIV the villain.
But you can't denigrate them at every impasse. You can't have Rory calling them, traitors, and Brooks Koepka and all these other high-end players. Mm-hmm. You can't do that. Because then it puts that at the forefront. And I'm going to be really honest with you. I said this on another show earlier in the week. If the PGA Tour picked their own 48 guys to go head-to-head with the LIV, it would be an abject evisceration.
100%.
If you did a team play, like a Ryder Cup thing, they would literally beat them 100-0.
Well, yeah. I mean, you only got one guy in the, top 15?
There are
Top
2 in
20?
the top 20 and 7 in the top 50. All they would do is trot out the best guys against their best guys, and it's ugly.
Sure. But
So they're not really a threat. I've long said this would be like
the PGA. Just what would their other option be? Just
ignore it.
Just let it go.
Ignore it.
Don't play.
Take the free publicity. Take the fact that Louis Oosthuizen, who is playing in your tournament, by the way, is more of a name today than he was 3 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. Kevin Na is a name today. He was not 3 weeks ago.
But is he more of a name because the PGA has created the strike?
No. The LIV thing was always going to have some momentum because it had Greg Norman and Phil Mickelson attached to it. Mm-hmm. It did not matter what anybody said. Nothing. You could have left it alone. Treated it like the NFL treats the USFL. Think about this. If the USFL was had stolen 8 players from the NFL, and you're playing these games right now, wouldn't be your stars. It's not going to be Pat Mahomes. It's not going to be Josh Allen. It's going to be some fringe guy. You not think the ratings would have been a little higher? You not think there would be more interest when that guy makes a training camp roster 2 months from now?
Mm-hmm.
This is not that hard to figure out. Right. The NFL figured this out a long time ago. You keep doing whatever you want to do. We've learned that interest in anything outside of the big boys is borderline nothing. But we'll take the little bit of interest. We'll take the free publicity for these borderline fringe roster guys. And that's what the PGA Tour just has refused to see. They've refused to see that you are getting – there's really no way for me to explain it other than free advertising. 3 most popular golfers that were wagered on going into this tournament, who do you think they are?
Dustin Johnson.
That's one of them.
Phil Mickelson.
That is not one of them.
That is not one of them.
Most people looked at that and
Louis
Oosthuizen and Rory McIlroy.
Okay.
Those are the 3 golfers with the most handle. And that's not to win. That's across all platforms of wagering something on them.
Right. I was like, hey, at least there's that drama, though. I think it's at least a good storyline.
What do you mean?
That one of these LIV guys could end up winning the U.S. Open and would just be a smack in the face of the PGA.
That's the best case scenario.
Drama.
That's the best case scenario for the PGA,
mm-hmm.
is that you have some combination. What would be ideal is if you had Rory playing with Dustin Johnson and then somebody else that had said things in the group right behind them.
Yep.
Brooks Koepka and Louis Oosthuizen or something like that, where you can have the rivalry actually bear out on the golf course. That's your A1 best case scenario.
Mm-hmm.
And it just drives me crazy that you have tried at every impasse to block these guys off. And now you have opened in all of the things, legal proceedings and things like that. I'm telling you right now, and you mark my words that I'm right on this.
Mm-hmm.
The third event of the LIV, you will have names that blow your mind from the PGA Tour that play in it.
Really?
Absolutely. I think one of the guys in the top 10 is going to do it. I'm not going to throw his name out there just solely because I have not confirmed that he's going to play in it. But there's one that I feel really sure. They don't want to deal with the backlash in Portland. Portland could be that could go somewhat sideways.
Yeah, politically speaking.
Yeah, that's
right.
You take that for you can draw your own conclusion.
It's a politically active city, and the Saudi-backed things coming to town.
And then you have 5 international events. And I'm telling you right now, there is a guy in the top 10 that I'm 97.8% sure is going to play in them.
Really?
And that's when this will explode. That's when this becomes a legitimate problem.
Well, now I want to know who it is.
Well, I'm not going to say it because it's not confirmed.
Come on.
That's how rumors start, and that's not good for anyone.
Start the rumor.
I'll put it this way. This is as far as I'll go. The one that told me this is the same one that told me there would be a top 20 player that you're not suspecting.
Uh-huh.
The one he was talking about was Dustin Johnson.
Right.
Same guy.
Interesting. So somebody from the top 10. Flostradamus putting it out there.
There is a top 10 golfer that I feel very sure is going to play in the LIV. And then this is going to get very interesting.
It's already interesting to me, especially as we go into, what's this, the 3rd major of the year?
Yes.
The U.S. Open up in Brookline, Massachusetts. Rory McIlroy atop the leaderboard at 3 under. He is finished for the day. There is still the afternoon sessions were barely underway. So we'll have updates throughout the rest of the program, as well as all the other things going on in the sports world, and really excited about talking baseball today. I'm just I'm kind of on cloud nine, and we got everything going on in the Ingles Studio here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
There will be some relief from the heat by the weekend as far as tonight is concerned. An occasional shower thunderstorm initially, then partly cloudy with patchy fog overnight and a low down to 69. After a sunny start to Friday, there may be a few afternoon thunderstorms popping up with a high near 90. Rain will exit tomorrow evening with an overnight low down to 68. And this is beautiful weather for the weekend with sunshine on Saturday and Sunday and high temperatures in the upper 70s to low 80s. I'm Jeff Marr from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. This Father's Day, find the sweetest products and prices at Lowe's. Like $50 savings on a Craftsman 20-volt 2-tool combo kit was $149, now $99. Lowe's, home to any budget, home to any possibility. While supplies last. Valid 6/16 to 6/19.
It's a can't-miss summer on Today. This week, celebrating fathers with Al, Craig, and Carson. Plus, stars in Studio 1A, Dakota Johnson, Pharrell, and John Baptiste kicks off your weekend. Watch The Today Show every morning on NBC.
Asheville's favorite street party cruises into summer Friday, June 17th. Downtown After Five's 34th season is presented by Prestige Subaru. June features I Tumbaye, a Latin fusion act, and free radio and their Appalachian hip-hop sound beginning at 5 p.m. There will be local beer on tap, and local food vendors will be serving up tasty treats. Join the party Friday, June 17th in downtown Asheville on North Lexington Avenue. Downtown After 5 is free and open to the public. For more information, visit AshevilleDowntown.org.
As a marketer, you want to reach everyone. Adults, teens, millennials. But it's not like these groups all hang out in the same place, right? Actually wrong. They're all right here, listening to radio commercials just like this one. Radio ads connect with 93% of Americans every week. That's more than Google, more than Facebook, more than TV. In fact, radio reaches 20% more millennials than TV. Want more of the people you want to talk to all in one place? Visit iHeartAdvertising.com and get AM/FM working for you. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
Hey everyone, I'm CJ Toledano.
And I'm Alex Wong. If you want a podcast about the NBA and everything that's taking place off the court, I'm talking about fashion, I'm talking about social media, I'm talking about favorite post-game quotes, we've got you.
You know we're talking about starter jackets, Alex.
Yeah, I know, and you're going to remind me about the Charlotte Hornets one that my parents never bought me.
Ooh, I'm sorry about that.
Anyways, check out Running the Break with CJ and Alex on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Now is the time to get in the driver's seat of your career. Ingles Markets is looking for new regional drivers to join our Land to Sky distributors fleet. Start with 2 weeks paid time off and paid holidays. Our drivers average over $80,000 per year and they're home every week. Land to Sky offers excellent pay and a great benefits package. 6 months of CDLA driving experience is required to apply. Visit Ingles-Markets.com/careers to know more. That's Ingles-Markets.com/careers.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
The Sportsocracy.
You were just dumber than a bag of hammers.
We do a special segment on this show every now and then called Jeremy Saw a Movie. Because Jeremy doesn't watch a lot of movies. Even all the ones that you've seen before, he's never seen.
And we will have that Tuesday because I am going to see Top Gun.
Oh, nice.
I have had enough people that have never seen the first one, which I have not, that said that doesn't matter. I'm going, HWA and I are going to see Top Gun. And we will have Jeremy saw a movie on Tuesday.
Ooh, I should try to go see it this weekend, too, and we can compare notes.
I guarantee you yours will be more favorable. Doesn't matter what the movie is, I'm going to piddle on it.
I hear it.
In some shape or fashion.
I hear it's awesome. That it's got all the nostalgia that you would want from the first movie, but it's also got, total nonstop action. A little TNA. Never hurt anybody.
You'll know I really like it if I come in with a moustache.
Stop that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. My brother-in-law I saw on Facebook today was talking about, I think I should try to grow that. No.
There's one person that should actively grow a mustache, and that's Tom Selleck. If you're not answer these questions. Are you Tom Selleck? No. Don't grow a mustache.
Okay. So only one guy gets to have the mustache.
Yeah, it's strictly Magnum PI.
Okay.
Only one.
All right.
I'm sure there are other people that I don't know, but Josh Michael has been talking about growing a mustache, and I want him to badly.
I guess we can call this segment, though, Jeremy saw a hockey. What? Jeremy hockeyed for once.
I watched every second of that Stanley Cup game last night.
It was that thrilling.
It was that good.
Okay, good for you.
First of all, Colorado was up 2-0 within 5 minutes.
Right.
So there's a little bar right beside my house. And my AC went out yesterday.
Advice.
Oh, 100% I did. So as soon as the show was over yesterday, I noticed that HWA had texted me and said, our AC's out. It is actively over 90 degrees in my living room.
Yeesh.
We're renting now after the house and all the things. So we just tapped. Went to the Village Porch, little bar in the adjoining neighborhood to where I live.
Mm-hmm.
Watched every second of it. I was dumbfounded by how fast they were. And look, I've watched a considerable amount of the playoffs. 5 minutes here, 15 minutes there.
Yeah.
Usually attached to something I've wagered on. It looked like that entire game was played in fast forward. I was awestruck by it. I couldn't tell you a player for either team, and I don't care.
Right.
That is one sport that is more, I think, more palatable to watch, even if you don't know anything. You know none of the players. None of it matters. I would say that's the most palatable sport to watch.
Mm-hmm.
The NFL, if you're not invested in any way, it can look a little bland at times because you don't have a rooting interest. You don't play fantasy football. You don't have a team. It's a little bland.
Right.
This didn't have that problem.
You just got sucked right into it.
I did. And I have a feeling I'm going to be sucked into this entire series.
Yeah. Colorado wins in overtime 4-3. Somehow Tampa Bay was able to hang around. Vasilevsky, apparently he can't play in game ones for some reason. He's 1-3 as the goaltender in the game one. So throughout this postseason,
he did not have the greatest first period last night. I will tell you that much.
Yeah, I mean he gave up, as you said, he gave up 2 right away,
and one of them was very dinky.
Dinky?
Yeah, it just kind of slipped by him, and then I'm going to show my naivety.
Official NHL analysis.
Bingo.
Dinky goal.
Put it in the dictionary. It's an official word. I did not. I thought if you were across the little the goalie crease, I didn't think you could do anything. They just goes barreling through like, ooh, free puck, score.
I can neither confirm nor deny. I don't understand.
I don't understand the rules at all, though. Every penalty, I'm like, I've seen 9 people do that since the last time you did this, and you were not upset about any of those.
Right.
So a little consistency would go a long way.
I have made the honest try at least 3 times in my life. Like sitting down with actual hockey fans, like explain it to me and maybe I'll get it. And I still can remember nothing about it other than it is fun to watch sometimes.
And see, I don't think I want that. I don't think I want the ravenous hockey fan that's sitting at me like, that's how I've always felt about Star Wars. If I ever committed to watching a Star Wars, I'm watching it by myself. Because I don't need you or Sports Freak Brian Hall or any of you people that really like this to be sitting there going, what'd you go away.
Right.
Okay? You got me watching gold trash cans and space bears. All right. Just give me a little room to breathe.
I remember sitting down a few years ago with Mark Starling from News Radio 570 WWNC, host of the Morning Report, sitting down with him and watching because he used to play hockey as a kid. He grew up in Florida. He was like part of the community hockey team like the Junior Ice Bears or something from Lakeland, Florida. And I sat down with him, and he tried to coach me through all of the things, and it just didn't take. Didn't take. But it gets interesting, I'll watch. Pretty much like the NBA Finals.
And I have a funny feeling tonight's going to be very interesting. After Just About Outside, I've learned in my several years of wagering on sports, there is one tried and true aspect of sports gaming that almost never fails. And it is screaming at me one direction. I'll tell you what it is after Just About Outside.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
Well, there is a departure for the New Orleans Saints, and he will be missed. Part of Marcus Davenport's finger, no longer a part of Marcus Davenport. He had to have half of his pinky amputated off this offseason. Apparently, he had torn some ligaments in it when he was in college, and it just started to, he had to have it surgically repaired because it kept bending weird. Well, apparently, at some point in this offseason, he broke the metal plate that was holding his finger together, got an infection, had to have 3 different surgeries, and unfortunately, they've had to remove a portion of the finger. So, Marcus Davenport, he ain't the same man he used to be. But hopefully he will be just as an impactful of a player when he comes back for this season.
Yeah,
that's bad luck.
Absolutely.
That's bad luck, man.
And that's apparently more common than I would have ever thought.
Because he already had to have shoulder surgery, and then the thing goes wrong with the finger, and now he's missing half a finger.
The unsettling thing to me is how common apparently that is. That you have something reset like that, something goes wrong with the plate, and it completely opens you up to infection and all kinds of, which is what happened to him.
Now, this would have been a better story if it was a JPP episode, but.
Well, he's already proven that you could. You don't need 10 fingers to be impactful in the NFL.
Absolutely. Speaking of the New Orleans Saints, did you see their new helmets?
They're fantastic.
They are awesome. For once, Jeremy and I agree on something fashion-wise in sports.
It's a black helmet with the Fleur-de-Lis logo patterned across the middle of it.
Yeah, but it's like a triangle that goes to a point at the back of the head, and it's got little tiny fleur-de-lis inside of that design. Full black glossy helmet with the big fleur-de-lis on the other side. It is something special.
I don't love it as much as I did. When I first saw it, I was all the way in. Then I showed it to HWA, and I had lunch together today. I showed it to her, and she immediately said, "It looks like a Louis Vuitton purse," and now I can't unsee it.
Oh, see, now you've ruined it.
I can't unsee it now because it completely does.
It is in that pattern.
John Rahm had a weird finish to his first round. He hits into the 18th green, and then his ball disappeared.
Oh, no.
2 kids stole his golf ball off the 18th green.
Yes.
I did not know what the path was there because apparently these 2 kids run on, grab the ball, and run off. His quote was, "I'm pretty sure I know who it was. I recognize the 2 kids that were running the opposite way with a smile on their face. I'm 100% sure I saw the 2 kids that stole it."
Nice.
Usually, that doesn't really matter, and you have to take a drop. And
no way.
That was the rule. Apparently, somebody went, "That's stupid."
That is stupid.
So they gave him a free drop at an unobstructed lane to the 18th green, knocked his second shot to 21 feet, made the birdie putt, and he finished at 1 under.
Good.
Just, okay.
Yeah, that's bad.
Can we stop doing weird things at sporting events?
No.
Between gluing yourself to the court or chaining yourself to the goalpost, stealing golf balls off the green. Can we act like we've been here before? Act like you have even just a modicum of common sense.
No, that kid's walking into his country club next week like the big man on campus. Because he had the stones to run out on the green in the middle of the U.S. Open.
What's really going to make me angry is when a TikTok video comes out of this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you did it for TikTok. Ugh.
And, it was actually Logan Paul.
Oh, that would make me hate it. I would be completely angry then.
All right, we have the NBA Finals tonight. Game 7 in Boston. Boston needs to stave off elimination. They have been down 3-2 in a series already this postseason. They came back and beat Milwaukee. When we buried them, they found a way to fight back. Will they be able to do that tonight? They got a 46-point performance from Jason Tatum in the Game 6 of that Milwaukee series. Does he have to do that tonight for them to win?
Have to? No. Would it greatly help? Obviously.
Obviously.
I don't think he has to be that good. The one thing I will tell you that's making me really nervous is how much of the money's on Boston. I don't think I've heard one person come out and say they think Golden State's putting this away tonight. That
except for
terrifies me. Well, and Steve Kerr said that to the locker room. Can we stop making such a big deal about that? They made it sound like he said it in the media. He was in the locker room.
We're going to take this in Boston. What else do you want him to say? Guys, we're just going to go up to Boston. We're going to mail it in like we did when we went to Memphis that one time.
We're going to go to Boston and get beat by 60.
Hey, you guys remember? Wasn't that a fun return trip from that loss in Memphis? We should do that again.
I do have a funny feeling that tonight's going to look a little bit different.
How so? How do you think they're going to adjust?
This is going to be in Boston. So the crowd will be electric. I would say Boston probably jumps out to an early lead. And then it becomes the game of counterpunching.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that would scare me if I'm a Boston fan, I have not seen Ime Udoka do that particularly well. And Steve Kerr is a master of it.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that would scare me is Boston has such a limited arsenal. You asked, does Jason Tatum have to go crazy? No, not necessarily, but he or Jaylen Brown do.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way you're winning this without one of them being tremendously good. And the thing that scares me about that is, if let's say Boston comes back and wins these last two games, wins the title.
Yep.
Who wins MVP? We're 5 games through this series.
Well, I mean, obviously it would depend on if Jason Tatum scored 40 in both of those games, he would be the MVP.
Okay, I asked that poorly. If you knew they were going to win this series and you had to pick it right now, who is it?
For Boston?
To me, there's really only one answer.
I don't know.
It's Jaylen Brown, and it's not really all that close.
I guess so, yeah.
Jason Tatum has been terrible twice. And this is Boston's bugaboo, is you're just so inconsistent. It seems like anytime everything lays out well for you, you lay an egg.
Mm-hmm.
The times that you think they stand no shot is when they somehow rise to the occasion.
Yep.
And this is a game where I feel like both of those things are at play. Rob Johnson in our YouTube comment says Boston wins tonight, but the Warriors win in Game 7. I feel like that's what everybody on the planet Earth thinks is going to happen.
Yes.
Which is why I'm going the opposite way.
You think they will sweep the next 2 games and take the title?
I'm going to say Boston wins the series.
Wow.
I don't know how it's going to happen.
All right.
And maybe this is just me sticking to my guns.
Yeah,
I had Boston the entire time.
You're just stomping your feet like the little angry kid that doesn't want to move out of his favorite spot. Like, no, I'm sticking with Boston.
In all honesty, because it doesn't make any sense.
Well,
this series has been the perfect NBA season in a nutshell, because it doesn't make even the vaguest lick of sense. Steph Curry's terrible in a game. Still win.
Mm-hmm. Because Andrew Wiggins.
And Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
And Klay Thompson had literally been so bad that some random fat guy showed up to the arena in a uniform, and they just went, yeah, it's Klay.
Klay's doing it different today. I still don't see how that guy got through security.
I don't either.
He was
the video that
what NBA player wears their uniform to show up at the arena?
Not one ever. It's never happened.
No.
Ever.
No. Oh, Klay brought his Lucky Threads from home. What is that?
The problem that I see for Boston is that you do not have a counterpunch. Golden State can lean more on Kevon Looney. Mm-hmm. If they're getting killed on the boards, they can go big with Looney and play Wiggins at the 4, and then go small in the backcourt with Steph and Jordan Poole. That team's going to be so good offensively that it's almost doesn't matter the fact you're playing 4-on-5, because Kevon Looney is completely irrelevant.
Right.
All right, let's say Boston you go Tatum, Horford, Williams, Smart, Brown. That's obviously the starters. That's that group has played the vast majority of the series together.
Mm-hmm.
You get down early, where do you go? You have two guys off the bench. It's Grant Williams and Derek White.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to turn to Peyton Pritchard? No.
You're not counting on it, but if you get something from him, then it,
I just don't see
They have won games that way before.
They have, but he's been such a non-factor in the series, and that's been the problem for Boston. You don't have the extra player that can pick you up. Yeah, it happened with Al Horford once. Do you think it's going to happen again?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to lean no.
You need that emotional boost from somebody, and I don't know where it's coming from. Will they be able to do it? Will it be Marcus Smart having the game of the playoffs? Scores 27 points, is on fire from three. Somebody has to have that night.
That's the one adjustment that I could actually see. Because, and I've said this on the show multiple times, the entire offense currently is trying to get the mismatch of who can we get Curry on.
Mm-hmm.
Or what if Marcus Smart just goes right at him?
Right.
We haven't seen that really in this entire series. He had one good game. Outside of that, he's been fine.
Mm-hmm.
But he hasn't had I have the mismatch. I am not what you think is coming at you. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
And that might be the only saving grace. I think he's the most important player in Game 6.
Okay.
Him and how much are you actually getting from Robert Williams?
Yeah.
Because the worse he has looked, the worse they have played.
See, as I have thought about this over the last few days of who's going to win this series, I keep going back to Steph Curry. Steph was, 0 of 9 in the last game. Did not hit a three-pointer. It's the first time in forever that he had done that in just a regular game, much less a postseason game or a finals game, or broke all these streaks. I don't see that happening again. And I could fully see Steph Curry just being bananas tonight, and it's never close.
The non-Klay Thompson starters in Game 5 were 0 of 19 from three.
Mm-hmm.
You still lost, and it was really never in doubt in the fourth quarter.
Right.
That's unsettling to me. Now, you're talking about Steph going crazy. I think the best games he's played in this series, outside of Game 4, they lost. If you ranked his performances 1 to 5, yeah, they won Game 4, which would be number 1. 2 and 3 they lost, and one of them was never close.
Mm-hmm.
The other one was never in doubt late. I just don't. I wish I trusted Ime Udoka more than I do, and that's not me slighting him as a coach. You're going up into a buzzsaw, and this led us into another topic because I've heard this a lot. Do you consider this Warrior run a dynasty?
Yes. Yes, and I think if you're on the fence about that, you might have some kind of grudge to hold.
It's not really a grudge. I'm just looking at it going, okay, there were 2 years in the middle of this where you picked in the top 5.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard for me to put that in the.
But why? But why? Because everybody got hurt. Because Klay and Steph both missed a year, and that's why.
So you're going, yeah, but.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the Celtics dynasty started because of what happened to Lynn Bias. Does that count for you?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to be morbid here. I'm just saying, when you get into those yeah buts, that's where I go, okay, that's not I can't agree.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's obvious that they've been very good. It's just you had 2 years where you were completely irrelevant. Name me. All right. This is where I've gotten with this. Name me another dynasty where you've ever had that.
Yeah, there's not one.
Because if you go in the order of NBA dynasties going backwards, you got Golden State. Let's say you consider that one.
Mm-hmm.
It ran concurrently with LeBron James.
Mm-hmm.
Name me 2 dynasties that ever happened at the same time. Never happened.
Yeah.
So that's 2 complete red flags that say, nope. And I think I've gotten to the point of, no, it's not.
Yeah.
It's a really good run.
The Pistons, would you consider the Pistons a mini dynasty?
Which
of the
one?
80s?
No. It was fine.
They were in.
It was good.
They were in the finals a lot, or in the Eastern Conference Finals at least every year.
Yeah.
So
I don't consider.
I'm just saying, I think that might be the closest one that comes, to Pistons kind of trailed. Lakers, Pistons trailed into the Bulls. It's the only.
To me, the order backwards is you have just gotten out of the LeBron James in and to himself dynasty.
Mm-hmm.
He was the dynasty of the 2010s, and I don't think that's even kind of debatable.
I'd agree.
And you get a little small run from the Spurs, which I kind of want to say doesn't qualify, and then Phil. Phil had his own little dynasty, because I can't say that Kobe and Shaq was one. Didn't last for long enough.
Yeah.
But Phil was there for him and the Bulls, so I can tie Phil into it. And, hey, now we get back to the Pistons, and we're all hunky-dunky.
Right.
Well, Pistons and the Celtics and the Lakers.
Mm-hmm. But would you consider, some people may consider Kobe to be a dynasty unto himself, with the 3 with Shaq and the 2 with Gasol?
And I think I could agree to that quicker than I could agree to this Warriors run.
I don't know. You go what is it? 6 out of 8 years you've been in the finals and got a chance at 4 out of 8 winning the title.
Yeah,
that's
and then
dynasty.
And then those 2 other years you were completely irrelevant.
But again, why?
That's the thing. I don't care about the why. It happened.
Okay, so the Bulls are a dynasty. Now, I know that the Bulls were good without Michael, but what I'm saying is,
I was about to say they were not picking in the top 5.
I know they were not picking
in
the top 5, but I'm just saying, if you took away Scotty from that team, maybe they would have been.
But
if it had been,
didn't.
I know, but you took both Steph Curry and Clay away.
That's like saying, well, if Larry Bird got abducted by aliens, then yeah, that Celtics team probably wouldn't have been nearly as good in the 80s.
Right.
But it didn't happen. Klay Thompson did get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And when he got hurt, they were irrelevant.
Yep.
You had your best player. It didn't matter. You were still terrible. So to me, I'm going to go no.
Yeah, okay.
And you talk about the Kobe run, you do realize that the worst they ever really were was in a year he was hurt. Other than that, they had a couple years where they got bounced in the first round of the conference of the Western Conference playoffs, right when Phil got there.
Mm-hmm.
Then it was 3 finals appearances in a row. I would say Kobe in and to himself is more of a dynasty than anything that's happened with Golden State.
Wow. Okay. And I don't necessarily disagree. I just feel like, yeah, this belongs in the talk. As long as we're talking about it, then it's a dynasty, right? We've done this with the New England Patriots, and obviously that's never been done before by any team in NFL history. I think you have to consider the Warriors really. But here we'll use the Hall of Fame measure. Can you tell the history of the NBA without this Golden State Warriors 4-year or 8-year period? No, you cannot, because it has changed everything about the sport.
And here would be my argument. Can you tell that story without a great big yeah but? Give me the yeah but on any other dynasty.
Mm-hmm.
What's the yeah but on the Bulls? Oh, Michael disappeared for a year and a half. Yeah, and they still made it to the second round of the Eastern Conference playoffs.
True, they did.
Without him.
True, they did.
Not like they wilted like an old house plant, which is exactly what Golden State did.
Injuries kill teams some seasons. This is just an...
Yeah, and see, to me, you can't have a yeah but.
No off years.
Sorry, that's how dynasties work.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Greene on Greene. Coming up next, Jeremy will give you his official pick for Game 6 of the NBA Finals.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
On Monday, July 4th, start your celebration off with a bang at the Asheville Independence Day 5K. It takes place at 8 a.m. with a start and finish at the Carrier Park Velodrome. Bring your family and friends out to celebrate on a fun, fast, and flat course. There's prizes and awards for age groups as well. Part of the proceeds benefit the Beloved Village Project. For more information and to get signed up, go to avlindependenceday5k.com. avlindependenceday5k.com. Proudly sponsored by iHeartMedia, Asheville.
You don't get to be the league's all-time leading rusher without feeling some pain.
Pro football legend Emmitt Smith knows joint pain, and he also knows the old treatments aren't the only treatments. Today, there's a natural alternative to drugs and surgery. It's biologic therapies from QC Kinetics.
I'm talking regenerative solutions that encourage your body to heal and repair itself.
Do you have pain in your hips, knees, shoulder, lower back? Want to get your life back? The local medical professionals at QC Kinetics can help.
Call to learn more about this exciting natural way to deal with chronic joint pain.
Don't put it off. Call QC Kinetics. Restorative, regenerative solutions with no downtime and lasting results.
Don't let your joint pain keep you from doing the things you love. There's a new natural solution that patients are raving about.
QC Kinetics.
Make the call to QC Kinetics. Tell them Emmitt Smith sent you.
Call QC Kinetics. 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. QC Kinetics. 333-9517.
DQ presents the sound of an all-star summer lineup. Leading off, the promising rookie, new Oreo Dirt Pie. On deck, the fan favorite Girl Scout Thin Mints. Summer standouts, drumstick with peanuts and cotton candy. And batting cleanup, it's you. With your red spoon and 6 summer blizzard flavors, official treat of MLB. All part of the new DQ All-Star Summer Blizzard lineup. DQ? Happy tastes good.
Straight Talk Wireless knows there are plenty of reasons you might need a new phone. But switching to a better wireless provider doesn't have to be one of them. Keep your own phone and save when you switch to any Straight Talk Wireless plan, like our $45 Silver Unlimited plan with unlimited high-speed data and 5 gigs of hotspot, plus nationwide 5G on America's best networks. Keep your own phone. Switch to a better wireless plan. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise. Requires a compatible unlocked phone and QIOP kit. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary. See latest terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
DQ presents the sound of an all-star summer lineup. Leading off, the promising rookie, new Oreo Dirt Pie. On deck, the fan favorite Girl Scout Thin Mints. Summer standouts, drumstick with peanuts and cotton candy. And batting cleanup, it's you. With your red spoon and 6 summer blizzard flavors, official treat of MLB. All part of the new DQ All-Star Summer Blizzard lineup. DQ? Happy tastes good.
Coffee's the closer's only.
Get them the money. Then when you get the money, you get the power.
That watch costs more than your car.
Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
We are preempted tomorrow by Atlanta Braves baseball, and we're off Monday for a federal holiday. So we will not be back until Tuesday, so this is a weekend version of Green on Green.
Yeah.
First, the Colorado Avalanche are a minus 150 favorite against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Over-under is 6. Based on what I saw last night, that over-under makes 0 sense. I know you said Tampa Bay's goalie has not been historically great in first game ones.
Yep.
I don't care. Those two teams play so fast and get so many shots on goal. There is, in my opinion, no way that you see below that number probably in any game of this series. I'm going over the 6, Colorado Avalanche minus 150. Tonight, game 6 of the NBA Finals. The Golden State Warriors are a 4-point dog. Over-under is 210. I'm going to preface this by saying I do think the Celtics are going to win tonight. But I am all over Golden State plus the 4. That number doesn't make a lick of sense to me. I think this will be close. I think it will be gritty to the end. I'm taking the Warriors plus the 4 under 210.
Go and do likewise, gents. The money's out there. You pick it up, it's yours. You don't, I got no sympathy for you.
And you can take your wagers, as always, to betus.com. Don't forget to use our promo code Sportsocracy when you make a deposit, because they will give you a 125% deposit bonus. So a lot of free play money on the line at betus.com. Promo code Sportsocracy. The Golden State Warriors, I think it would mean something, a little extra, for them to be able to pull this off in Boston, just because you want to grind it in on the home floor, especially after, some of the off-color chants that they have been complaining about.
Well, who's shocked that Boston is not being nice?
No one.
You surprised?
No one's surprised by that at all. Boston fans, there's some good ones of us, and then they're the ones who actually live there, and that's the
Here's my question. Are we going to break the most unbelievable streak I think I've ever seen? It is June 16th.
Okay.
We have been doing the NBA playoffs for 9 months. That's only a modest embellishment.
Yeah.
There has not been a one-possession NBA playoff game in over a month. That is the most dumbfounding stat I think I've ever seen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if there's any way that it's going to happen, it'll happen tonight.
I would agree with you.
But again, part of me can see Boston continuing to have problems with their turnovers, and Steph Curry's hitting his shots, and it just ain't going to go your way. I hope it doesn't go that way. I hope you get a good competitive game down to the end, but
I would like to just have a good game.
Yeah, I said it yesterday. I don't feel good about Boston in any close games because they're too inconsistent, and they need to have a 15-point lead at some point in the fourth quarter for me to feel even kind of like they're going to hold on to it. It's just the second halves of these games have...
A third quarter specifically.
Right, but...
Third quarters have been horrible.
But not only the third quarter of getting trounced in the third quarter, except for the game that you lost the other night, but you've had leads in 3 fourth quarters and just petered them away.
Well, that's just solely because you're so inconsistent offensively.
Mm-hmm.
There's really nothing there that you can count on. Golden State can count on Steph Curry.
Yep.
All right, at worst game, you were still fine. I mean, you weren't as bad as he's been made out to be.
Right.
For posterity's sake, I will say if Boston wins tonight, which I think they will,
mm-hmm.
I've got the under tonight. If this were to go to a Game 7 in Golden State, line would probably be Golden State minus 4.5, I think, based off how this has gone.
It seemed like it's been 4 here or there. Doesn't matter.
And I think you would get a little bit of a prop because it's a Game 7. I think experience in a Game 7 is probably enough for a point. At the very least, it's enough for half a point.
Mm-hmm.
And if it was 4.5, I'm probably taking Golden State, and I would aggressively take the over.
Yeah,
over under probably 212-ish.
Even though you said earlier you thought Boston was going to win the series, you would still wager on Golden State to cover 4.5.
I said that's what I thought was going to happen. I didn't say I had a bet on it.
Ah, okay.
I can't, in good conscience, put a massive amount on Boston.
Mm-hmm.
I just had to hedge an aggressive amount to make sure that this wasn't the worst NBA Finals for me ever. You just can't really count on it.
Right.
It's so unpredictable. It's so untrustworthy. And you get into a Game 7 in the Bay. With my heart, I want to say that I've been right about Boston and that they would find a way because they always find a way to win when you don't believe in them. But I can't say I would wager on it.
For sure, one thing that you can wager on, you can take it to the bank. PhD weight loss program can help you get a handle on being overweight. I never thought that was a path for me. I have always been massively overweight, morbidly obese, as the official the physicians call it. But PhD weight loss has come in and changed my life. I have dropped 70 pounds, more than 70 pounds on this program so far, and I am going to keep going to my goal.
You don't have to be morbidly obese either for this program to work for you. I never fell into that. I've always been a very tall person that was just a little junky and maybe a little lazy in their eating habits. That was what I wanted to fix with the PhD program. Since October, I am down over 40 pounds, and I'm back to my high school weight, walking golf courses and sleeping better than I have since I was a teenager. And it's all thanks to the program and people at PhD Weight Loss.
Hot wife Amy came into the studio earlier today. Always gives me the best hugs when I see her, and she goes, "Oh my gosh, there's so much less of you now." It's because of PhD Weight Loss. Go to myphdweightloss.com. PhD Weight Loss is the official weight loss program of the Clemson Tigers and their fans.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
There will be some relief from the heat by the weekend as far as tonight is concerned. An occasional shower thunderstorm initially, then partly cloudy with patchy fog overnight and a low down to 69. After a sunny start to Friday, there may be a few afternoon thunderstorms popping up with a high near 90. Rain will exit tomorrow evening with an overnight low down to 68. And this is beautiful weather for the weekend with sunshine on Saturday and Sunday and high temperatures in the upper 70s to low 80s. I'm Jeff Marr from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance, where you only pay for what you need.
Liberty. Nobody should have to pay for one-size-fits-all insurance coverage. Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty. At Wendy's, we make breakfast better. Like with our Breakfast Baconator. Better from top to bottom bun. Savory sausage patty? Better. Crispy oven-baked bacon? Better. Fresh cracked egg? Better. The Breakfast Baconator might just be the greatest breakfast sandwich of all time. So you can keep settling for not better, or you can get a better breakfast from Wendy's. Tough choice. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's Better Breakfast. At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
It's the store-wide savings event at Mattress Warehouse. Save up to 70%, plus get free next-day delivery. With mattresses starting at $99, there's a mattress to fit every budget. And they offer 0% interest financing store-wide. Visit Mattress Warehouse.
Are you ready for summer? Wherever summer takes you, make sure you take your favorite radio station with you on your adventures with the free iHeartRadio app. That's right, no matter how far from home you travel, this station, the music you love, and the best podcasts in the world will be right there with you in your pocket.
Summer soundtrack.
Sunscreen, flip-flops, and the free iHeart app. Must-haves for any summer checklist. Download the free iHeartRadio app and discover music, radio, and podcasts you'll love this summer.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK,
Celtics are only
CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Tonight, in Game 6 of the NBA Finals against the Warriors, trailing 3-2. ESPN's Vince Carter is hoping both teams will stop complaining about the whistle.
They're not going to let games be decided by foul. You got to go earn it. You got to go get it. And it goes back to what I'm saying. Stop hunting for it. You're not getting it. They're not going to bail you out by saying you threw your arms up under them and got the call. No.
Vince Carter on KJ and Max. Our Game 6 coverage starts at 8 Eastern here on ESPN Radio and on ABC TV. First round of the U.S. Open today. Rory McIlroy, Joel Damon, David Lingmerth, and Callum Tarrant are all in the clubhouse and tied for the lead at 3 under. Right now, 6 more players are 2 under, just 1 shot back. Last day of mandatory minicamp, Chicago Bears players all wore number 41 jerseys in memory of Brian Piccolo, a former Bears running back who died 52 years ago today.
Feeling great starts with a great shave. And great shaves start with Barbasol Shaving Cream. And for a limited time only, capture your Barbasol Jurassic World collector cans before they're gone.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The final episode of the week as we have Braves baseball. Will be on ESPN Asheville tomorrow afternoon, afternoon tilt. So we will not be here. Caleb will not be here. Caleb Peak joining me in the studio, baseball nerd extraordinaire.
My mind will be in Atlanta tomorrow, in spirit, if you will.
Right, and your ears will be on the Atlanta Braves baseball game here on ESPN Asheville. Not only can you hear us on ESPN Asheville, take us everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, but you can also see us live on YouTube. Don't forget to go to the Sportsocracy.com. Click on the live video link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can get into the chat. We have had, we don't talk a lot of baseball. And here's one of the big reasons why. Because, well, obviously there's Jeremy who detests baseball. But it's also not to a point where I really care all that much. Look, I've said for a long time baseball season's too long. 163 game season, it's just too much. It's too much because so many things can happen in a baseball season where I was just talking with my dad today. Raised me to be a Boston Red Sox fan, has been a Boston Red Sox fan since he was 8 years old. And he lives and dies with the Red Sox, watches every game and freaks out over every little thing. Now, obviously, the first 2 months of the season were not good for the Boston Red Sox. You can say the same thing about the Atlanta Braves.
You better believe it.
But what has happened? In the last 3-4 weeks, Boston's gaining steam. The Braves are gaining steam. It's almost as if the first part of it never really mattered.
Almost, right?
Almost.
You can almost throw it out.
It can always come back to haunt you, but as long as you find your stride, then, it's not worth really freaking out over. I mean, unless you're a Baltimore Orioles fan.
I mean,
then you can go, baseball's dead to me.
In which case it sucks. Now, I mean, you can throw it out if you don't care that you're 12 and a half games back in the AL East. But that's the thing for Boston. I mean, nobody is catching New York this year.
No.
That's plain and simple. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that Boston is a wild card team.
Look, we're on a crash course here for the Los Angeles Dodgers and the New York Yankees to meet each other in the World Series, are we not? I mean, anything else would be a letdown at this point.
I agree to disagree with that.
Really?
L.A. is not who we thought they were.
Oh,
we are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Do you think losing the arms is gonna come back to bite them?
It's going to be a big thing because not having Walker Buehler is major.
Obviously.
And he's out until September. You also don't have Blake Trinan, who on any other major league squad would probably be a starter. Because he plays in L.A., he's coming out of the pen. He's your number one reliever. He's out for a considerable amount of time, and that timeline just keeps getting longer. Meanwhile, I mean, we don't know when the Padres are going to get not Manny Machado, but Tatis Jr. He was supposed to have been back now.
Yeah, but he can't even pick up a bat.
Right, and that timetable just keeps getting pushed back. But he's going to be back at some point.
You'd think
between now and then. And when he does come back, I saw a really well-written article earlier today said that it's basically a trade for nothing. You trade nothing and get the best baseball player, one of the best players in the game today, back on your squad. And when that happens, watch out because San Diego is going to be coming. So I think L.A. might be in a little bit of trouble.
But who are you? I mean, so obviously the Padres, they're very hot right now, despite all of the injuries that they have.
Well, they got swept out by the Giants.
But, the Dodgers are the class of the league. They are so loaded that it doesn't really matter that, I mean, there is a point where all teams will have injuries and it can tank your season. I'm still a believer that the Dodgers are going to hang on because who else is it going to be? It could be the Atlanta Braves, not trying to slight them, but it would be as magical of a run as it was last year for them to make the World Series. I'm saying at this point, everybody else is an underdog.
I think now with the arm injuries in L.A., I think what we're headed toward is a Subway Series World Series between the Yankees and the Mets.
Stop that.
What do you mean? You don't like that?
No, the New
That
York
would be
Mets
great
are
for
terrible.
baseball. They're terrible.
No, they're good. It's a good team, but they're going to screw it up.
Yeah.
Come on, they're going to screw it up.
Look, New York has got 40. The Yankees have got 46 wins. The Mets have 41 wins. Now, they got smacked last night by Milwaukee, but it's one of those games. Like you said, it's a 162-game season. Over the course of things, you're going to have a couple of games like that. I mean, this 14-game winning streak for the Braves is going to come to a stop very, very soon because both San Francisco and L.A. are coming to town. I mean, it's a matter of time until the brakes are applied to this whole thing. But I mean, I don't see a team in the National League right now who is better. I mean, it's one thing to be hot. It's another thing to be good. Yeah. The Atlanta Braves are hot. The New York Mets are good. And they're so deep. I mean, we've seen this. They've had injuries to Brandon Nimmo was out of the lineup for an extended period of time. Mm-hmm. They just kept winning. You know, Eduardo Escobar is hitting for cycles. He's a journeyman. He's played all over the place. And here he is making a significant contribution. You've got guys who are they're inclined to show up under the brightest lights. When you play in New York, especially if you're a New York Met, and this has got to eat Pete Alonso alive. As good as he is, he's still an afterthought, because when you play in the shadow of the Yankees, you've got to be at your all-time best. I think the New York Mets right now are at their all-time best.
Well, it doesn't help that the New York Yankees are just, I mean, they're unstoppable offensively.
Oh, they're the Dodgers of the East.
Wait. The pitching ain't bad either. They've got it all. So yeah, I mean, to me it's a 3-team race for second place in the AL East.
It really is. I mean, New York is they've got it locked down in the East, because I didn't expect at this point in the game, or at this point in the season rather, before the All-Star break, the Yankees would have a 9-game lead on Toronto. I thought that would be neck and neck headed down the stretch, and it still very well could be. We've still got a long way to go, but the Yankees are 9-1 over their last 10. You talk about the 14-game winning streak for the Braves. It's not so much about the streak. It's more about winning series, and that's what the Yankees are doing. They're winning series after series, and that lead over the Blue Jays just keeps getting stretched wider and wider. The Jays can't get away from the Rays. Here comes Boston on an 8-2 run, and all of a sudden the race between second and fourth place is between 3.5 games, so between 9 games back and 12.5 games back. So top of the division is locked up in the AL East. I think the top of the division is all but locked up in the NL East. I mean, I know the Braves have closed the gap to 4 games between them and the New York Mets, but again, after the All-Star break is really when we get to see who is good, who's in it for the long haul, and I think the Mets are going to get it back together and stretch that lead back out. So the wild card race is going to be terribly interesting this year, because as we've seen in the past, you just have to be in. You have to be a part of it, and you're very much alive. The Washington Nationals, a wild card team in 2018, and they made their stellar run out of nowhere. The New York Giants, I mean, how many times have they been a wild card team in the NFL playoffs and come out of nowhere to win the Super Bowl?
Right.
It's just a matter of being in the dance, and that's what the battle is about right now. That's one reason why baseball is so great, because it can come from anywhere.
Yeah, I would say there's no doubt it can come from anywhere. It depends on who's going to get hot. But, I mean, there are just some there are some divisions that, I don't know, they're just lesser than others.
No, sure. I mean, absolutely.
I'm looking at you, Centrals.
What is going on in the AL Central right now? Where are the White Sox?
The Chicago White Sox. It's Tony La Russa, man. Look, he had his time, okay? Sure, he's a smart baseball guy, but this has to be over, right? I mean, it just seems like there's another narrative or there's another story coming out week after week about Tony La Russa. And is it that people are looking for a reason? Well, yeah, kind of. I mean, we expected, or at least I did, I expected the Chicago White Sox to be a threat in the Central Division, and they were.
They were a threat.
But they've taken a step back, and now Tony's intentionally walking people with 2 strikes on them, and it's just there's always been friction with him and the players. I knew that was going to be a problem when you've got a guy like Tim Anderson on your team, and Tony La Russa, stodgy old baseball guy, comes in to be the manager. You knew that was going to be a problem at some point. Now, I'm not saying there's direct friction between those two, but it's kind of, it's grandpa trying to relate to the millennial generation, and it just doesn't work.
And Anderson tried to give him the benefit of the doubt. I mean, he went on the record. He said, you know what? We're going to make this work. I'm going to listen to him. I'm going to follow his instructions and try to learn something off of, because La Russa is a wealth of baseball knowledge. I mean, he came up through some of the greatest generations of baseball, well, at least recent generations anyway. I mean, you can learn something from him when he's sober. I mean, that was your first clue. Before you get the job and immediately you get popped for a DWI. It's like, come on, Grandpa. But at this point,
he doesn't know what Uber is. He doesn't know how to schedule one on his phone.
I mean, I hardly do at this point. The tip costs more than the ride itself anymore. That's not for nothing. Tim Anderson.
That's what she said.
You can't blame
I could not do it. I could not. I apologize.
There it is.
Thank you.
I got the long arms. I can reach it. Tim Anderson is injured. He comes back. He gets injured again. I mean, he's suspended over the course of all this. It's always something. They go back and forth between he and Josh Donaldson and whatnot. Of course, Josh Donaldson is in the wrong for that, so you can't blame Tony La Russa for that whole deal. Mm-hmm. But 30-31, you're looking for a reason to fire Tony La Russa? You're below 500. You're underwater. What are we? 10 weeks into the season now. Yep. After having a commanding lead in the Central at one point. All that momentum is gone. Now your closer is out. Now Liam Hendriks is going to be out for an unspecified amount of time. You hope, if you're a White Sox fan, that he's on the 15-day injured list. The way it looks, it could be more. You're leaning more toward the 30 or 60-day IL. And now your ace closer is out. Who do you go with now? Now you have to call somebody up, or you have to go out and get somebody. Who do you know out there that wants to come play for Tony La Russa?
Right.
I mean, and now the fans are clamoring for it. The ticket holders, your stockholders, are clamoring for this guy to be fired. You have to listen to them. Mm-hmm. And I think if Chicago doesn't win, if they don't win every series between now and the end of June, La Russa is going to be, well, he's not going to be looking for a new job. He's going to be drawing Social Security is what he's going to be doing.
Yeah.
And it's for the best.
Of course it is.
The experiment happened. I pulled for them. I thought the talent was there. I thought La Russa would have a legitimate shot to lead Chicago to the promised land and do something special. Well, it flopped. It's been a catastrophe. It's been an abysmal disaster, and Chicago's got to change.
Now, has it been an abysmal disaster, or did he serve his purpose? Did he
losing?
No, I mean, did he bring some kind of stability there for just a little bit, just a little window, to be able to get I mean, hey, at least they're all galvanized, against him. So he brought them together as a team, if you really think about it.
Well, yeah, Ozzie Guillen did the same thing. You look but what's the difference between Ozzie Guillen and Tony La Russa? Right. The skin color is the difference.
You've got so many young stars on this team that they have to be doing better than this. At some point, you just have to look at a manager and go, enough's enough.
Mm-hmm.
It's not happening. Philadelphia Phillies ended up doing it with Joe Girardi, and look what happened. They went on a 9-game winning streak.
That's true.
Maybe that's some lightning in a bottle that the Chicago White Sox can get to at least get them back to the top of the division. They've been passed by the Twins. They've been passed by the Guardians. I don't think they have a chance of getting passed by either of the other teams in that division. But I think the time has come for the Chicago White Sox to be the third team this year to just call it quits with their manager. What are your thoughts on the Joe Maddon thing? Did you have a problem with the Angels firing Joe Maddon, or did you feel like that was necessary?
I mean, how many more games do you have to lose before you pull the plug on this guy? I thought the interesting thing was that Joe Maddon, the morning that he got fired, had gotten a mohawk. I don't know if you've seen this story. He got the mohawk. He was going to take it into the clubhouse and try to shock his guys into, if you're going to make a change, well, let's do that. The ancient guy comes in with the mohawk, and all of a sudden we're going to start winning ball games. Where right. He never got the chance. He was never allowed back in the building because he was fired before he got there. So that's the thing about the Angels. The Angels are an unfortunate atrocity because of all the money that's been spent. Mike Trout, don't get me started on Mike Trout. Shohei Ohtani is a generational talent. Mm-hmm. I mean, of course, he's our modern-day Babe Ruth, and he's proven it on the field. You can't dispute what he's doing. And you've got Mike Trout, who was at one time the highest-paid player in the league. I think he's number 3 on the list now. Bryce Harper had a higher contract than him. Had a sensational play in center field the other night. Yeah, Tatis has got more money now too. Had an absolutely incredible grab in center field last night. Went up and brought one back over the wall. Trout is worth his weight in salt. He's worth half of his weight in gold, I would say. Of course, the Angels appear to believe that. So why is Anaheim, Los Angeles of Anaheim, whatever that means, the LAA Angels, why are they not winning is what I've been trying to figure out. They've had this talent for so long. Taylor Ward is coming back off of the injured list. He's incredible in the infield. I mean, everyone is contributing. and yet the Angels continue to lose. It's a mystery to me. I can't wrap my mind around this. 22-year-old Reed Detmers, the second youngest player, I think, to ever throw a no-hitter? Maybe the youngest, without having that information in front of me. And still, the Angels are struggling. It's just, why? Yeah. It's mind-boggling to me that this is the case.
Yeah. The wins have come few and far between for the Angels in the last couple of weeks. But, did you really believe in that team to begin with?
I did. I wanted to. I don't want to say that I did believe. I wanted to believe in them because it seemed to me that the writing was on the wall. If ever there was going to be a time, it was going to be this year when you've got both Mike Trout and the guy who's on the cover of MLB 22 The Show. I mean, Shohei Ohtani is showing up and showing out. And I thought it would just be a road problem initially, because the Angels looked good at home in front of that pretty little water feature out in center field. They were mashing. They were winning ball games. They had some trouble on the road. I watched in depth that series when L.A. came out to Boston, and Boston just smacked them. I mean, there was one game that went well into extra innings. That was an entertaining one. But for the most part, Boston just laid it to Anaheim. And I'm thinking, okay, so that's a 3,000-mile trip. It's just like the Mets. Every now and then you have a game. You have a series where you just don't show up. It's been 2 or 3 series now. We're going on 4 series that L.A. has just completely not even bothered to show up at the ballpark. You let Joe Madden go, and it's a marginal improvement. You're still not really seeing any results, and now it seems that your future is even more uncharted. So, I don't know. Clearly with this, it's not a matter of how much you pay somebody. That's the thing about baseball. It's one guy cannot change the course of destiny. Even when you have 2 guys. Mike Trout, I mean, he does everything he can with the bat, does everything he can in center field, but you've still got 8 other guys around him that have to pull their weight. 7, really, when you count what Shohei Ohtani is doing. Got to have everybody else on the same page, and that is not the case in Anaheim.
Well, the Atlanta Braves are, like you said, on a hot streak. Coming back to it, obviously, the Ozzie Albies injury doesn't help anything. That's yet again, but you can't bury him.
No,
I mean, after they lost Acuna last year, that's when I buried him and went, okay, this is over.
And that's when they got hot.
Right, they got hot after that. They made some great moves at the deadline. Ended up coming back winning the World Series, and everything was hunky dunky. And Ozzie's a great player. Don't get me wrong.
And you know what?
But you can't denigrate the whole team.
And don't sleep on Orlando Arcia either. He is a great ball player. And that's the thing. He had some time in the spotlight last season with all the injuries and everything going on. Now, after the All-Star break, when you bring in the mother load of all these players, Arcia got shuffled back to the bench. He kind of got faded into the background. And rightfully so. He wasn't on par with the Jorge Solers and everybody else that got brought in. But now you have him. You have to go to him because you don't have anyone else. You bring up Phil Gosselin out of the AAA level, but Arcia was the only utility infielder on the 40-man roster for the Atlanta Braves. If anybody goes out, which was the case with Albies, Arcia is the guy. He's the only one you've got to step up and make hay with. And that's what's happened. I mean, he steps up. He comes into the game for Albies. What does he do? He hits a home run. Turns around the next night in Washington. Hits another home run. That's the case with Michael Harris II as well. Things are looking hairy in the outfield, right? With Travis DeMeritt early in the season. Has a couple of nice plays on the SportsCenter Top 10, but really just is not earning his salt. He gets demoted. Michael Harris is one of, I think, 5 or 6 Atlanta Braves to make the jump all time from the AA level straight to Atlanta. Jeff Francoeur, Brian McCann, Jared Sotomayor, Max Fried was the other one, and Michael Harris II. And he's hitting well over 300. I mean, it finally had his first major league home run the other night, followed it up the second night with another mash to center field. Once you get everyone in their place, and all the arbitration issues are almost worked out. I think Max Fried is still going to be going through some arbitration later on, but 3 out of the 5 Braves that are still up for arbitration, it's been settled. It's been taken care of. Now all that nonsense is in the back of your mind. You don't have to worry about the business side of things anymore. You settle things in the outfield. You move Ronnie over into right field where he's comfortable. You've got a speedy, really, really nice young player out in center field in Michael Harris. Now Adam Duvall, you can put him where he's comfortable over in left field, because when he was in center, he was struggling mightily, both defensively and offensively. He's batting in the high 100s from the right side of the plate. Not really somebody you can count on, but once you get him comfortable into left field, he's got the strong arm, so any sacrifice fly, he's capable of throwing him out of the plate. And now he's batting in the 320 range. He had a 2-home run outing in the final game of the 4-game series against Pittsburgh. He's really getting those wheels turning. He was another one of those arbitration guys that got it settled. Lost his case, but again, it's still something that you don't have to worry about anymore. You don't have to think about, well, how much more money do I stand to lose? It's settled. It's dealt with. Now we can just go play baseball. So the only question is, how well can Arcia fit into this infield? And Ozzie will be back. It's a 60-day injured list. It's a minor broken bone. It will heal before we really get into the meat of the playoff run. So that infield will be back together, because that's the Swanson-Albies connection on the double play is serious. Those guys have got great chemistry going on. You've got it nailed down at the corners between Austin Riley and Matt Olson over at first base. Your battery has been incredible. Travis d'Arnaud has been a human brick wall behind the plate, and your starting rotation has been lights out between Max Fried and Spencer Strider, that's another fun guy to watch. Spencer Strider. He's really coming into his own, 3 straight wins as of late. But Atlanta's putting it all together at the right time, and I think they're a solid lock for second place in the East.
Are they putting it together at the right time, or are they peaking too early? This might be a problem, but I don't foresee that. I foresee this 4-game difference in the NL East is going to continue throughout the rest of the summer.
It's going to be tough to catch the Mets.
It will be very, very tough. But I think as long as you stay within arm's reach, you get another 10-game winning streak, or you get on a good hot streak where you can win 10 out of 14 or something like that a couple of times throughout the rest of the season. Those leads can disappear quickly.
And it's been
especially when you're considering you're going after the Mets, who will find a way to screw it up, as I said at the top of this segment.
Right. Well, and the 14-game winning streak. Okay, that's great. Second longest in franchise history. Tied second longest. 15 was the ultimate record back in 2000. So this is great. 14 games it's not easy to do. But who did it come against? Exactly. You win the last game against Arizona, which there were a couple of really bad losses early in that season against the Diamondbacks. Sweep the Rockies, sweep the Pirates, so on and so forth, and sweep the Nationals as well. But now you got San Francisco coming to town. Now you got L.A. at the bottom of the month when Freddie gets his championship ring and all that. And you're getting into the meat of things now. We're really about to find out what the Atlanta Braves are made of.
We are in the Ingles Studio here on ESPN Asheville. Atlanta Braves baseball heard right here on ESPN Asheville every game, like tomorrow afternoon. Jeremy and I will not be with you tomorrow afternoon. Monday is the federal holiday, so we will be taking that off as well. So today, thought it was good to bring Caleb Peak in, talk some baseball. We're gonna continue to do this in the 4 o'clock hour every Thursday up until football season.
I love it. I've got a lot to get off my chest, man.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
There will be some relief from the heat by the weekend. As far as tonight is concerned, an occasional shower thunderstorm initially, then partly cloudy with patchy fog overnight and a low down to 69. After a sunny start to Friday, there may be a few afternoon thunderstorms popping up with a high near 90. Rain will exit tomorrow evening with an overnight low down to 68. And this is beautiful weather for the weekend with sunshine on Saturday and Sunday and high temperatures in the upper 70s to low 80s. I'm Jeff Marr from the Weather Channel.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slow 26 westbound between Hendersonville Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound delays between the French Broad River and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound slow near George's Branch Road. Smoky Park Highway northbound stop and go approaching Sand Hill Road. Near Avery Creek Boulevard Road northbound very busy approaching Long Shoals Road. Again, Boulevard Road northbound approaching Clayton Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Hendersonville Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road slow. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. Second half of the year looking busier than the first? Hire with Indeed. Their powerful platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates in one place. Sponsor a job and immediately get a short list of quality candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
It's a can't-miss summer on Today. This week, celebrating fathers with Al, Craig, and Carson.
selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Just keep your eye on the ball. At Ingles, we know that big dreams don't always make it to the big leagues. But we also know that baseball, it's family. It's about building character. And as sure as there'll be some stumbles on that journey from first to home, we'll be right there, cheering you on. This is baseball, and this is who we are. Ingles, we're with you every step of the way.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
All right, let's go to New York City for today's little bit of enjoyment. I mean, if you have a soft spot in your heart for animals, you may feel a little bit bad in this scenario, but you can join all the throngs of people in New York City that are now calling for an end to a very cruel practice. Horse-drawn carriages. The horse-drawn carriages, apparently yesterday in New York City, a carriage horse at 7 o'clock in the evening got spooked so bad that it ran out into traffic and hit 2 cars. Now, thankfully, the horse only suffered a laceration from the harness that it was wearing. It was trying to dart in between 2 cars, and the wheels on the carriage just demolished the sides of these 2 cars. And now, as you can imagine, every animal rights activist is calling for an end to carriage rides. So it led me into asking this question. Have you ever taken a carriage ride anywhere? Have you ever done one of the Charleston tours? Or that's the only city that I can think of off the top of my head. I think Williamsburg has them. And some of the colonial things.
Can you wager on those things? Because that's about the only time I do horse-related things.
Is if you could wager.
And dogs. It kind of falls into the same. A lot of the same places, as a matter of fact.
The thing that ticked me off the most about this, though, is that the horse gets spooked, and so it darts into these 2 cars, and what happens immediately? The idiots in New York traffic are honking their horns at the... Yeah, good. We're trying to calm this horse down.
Honking at it is not helping.
Honking at the horse is not helping anything at all. Thankfully, no one else was injured. The horse suffered a laceration, and there is an investigation going on by the board that looks over carriage tours, I guess, in New York City. I don't know.
I want to play one of my favorite games.
Okay.
Guess where this story came from. A family is sharing one final joke with their late father, but not everyone is laughing. Stephen Paul Owens passed away in September of 2021. He was 59, and he was laid to rest at the Warren Power Cemetery in blank. And he just had his headstone installed on his grave. Mm-hmm. On one side, it lists his name, date of birth, and death. And a family saying that is, if you don't listen, you'll have to feel.
Okay.
On the other side, there is that this is where the controversy comes in.
Okay.
And I can't specifically tell you which words it is because that would be naughty according to the FCC. So you're going to have to figure it out for yourself.
Just read the passage.
It says, forever in our hearts until we meet again. Cherished memories known as our son, brother, father, papa, uncle, friend, and cousin. If you heard that and go, the first 7 letters of some of those words spell out an expletive phrase. Mm-hmm. Well, that's the problem, because that's exactly why they did it, because apparently that was his favorite phrase.
They wrote it in poem form on the back of his headstone.
Hoping that no one would notice. Well, when the headstone got put in, apparently somebody had already noticed it because they denied it.
Oh.
And the headstone maker didn't care because it was already done, so he just put it in there. Now they're saying it has been planted, so you can't take it away. This has created great controversy, and many people whose loved ones are buried in this particular cemetery are writing to their congressman to get this pulled out.
Oh, my gosh.
Now, I have to say one thing.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely want this on my headstone, and I want that immortalized on this show because that is hilarious.
Yeah. Nice. I'm going to guess Alabama.
Let's see. Ascendo Wildriff got this right in our YouTube comments. It's Iowa. He said, I read this yesterday. So and that's not cheating. You got it completely right. That is hilarious.
It is. It's very funny.
Why would you be mad about that?
Because it's a cemetery and we're here to mourn.
Well, you have to specifically look at it to even know that. Just, okay, this is a touching moment between family members. I thought it was absolutely hilarious.
Yes.
And I hope I did not butcher his name. I apologize. And thank you for listening and chiming in and getting it right.
Indeed. You can follow along with us on the YouTube stream as well. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click on that live video link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. That gets you in to the chat. Yes, that would be awesome. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers, says Jason Trump in a super chat on the YouTube stream. Yes, indeed. Happy Father's Day to all. We'll be celebrating this weekend.
I'm going to try to not melt this weekend. Because as I stated,
it's going to get cooler this weekend, though. I mean,
is it going to be 45?
No.
Because unless
is
it's
that what
40,
you want?
Oh, absolutely. If I don't have air conditioning, yeah, I don't want it to be.
I forgot your air conditioning is out.
I'm glad you forgot. I didn't forget. It's ruined my whole day.
It's only going to get up to 79 tomorrow.
So that means it'll only be 90 in my house as opposed to the 142 that it probably is right now.
Well, you guys can come over to the house and,
I think we're just going to run away.
The pool apparently is broken at the apartment complex as well. So
yeah.
You can't.
So we have no pool. We have no AC.
That's why you watched. Okay. That's why you watched hockey last night because I was like, okay, wait, pool's broken, AC's broken. There's a bar 10 feet from my house.
To the bar.
That's where I'm going,
and that's where we went.
Yeah, good for you. Playing it smart, playing it safe.
I will say they gave us a little, and I don't know what you would call this. I know there are space heaters, so I guess this is a space cooler that they put in our bedroom, and they're funneling the hot air out the window.
Mm-hmm.
Whew. Bedroom was it was 66 when I woke up this morning. That was fine.
Yeah. But hopefully they'll be on top of it.
They'll get it taken care of.
It'll be all.
We'll just use it as a reason to take a business trip. At least that's what it is if the IRS asks.
Aha. Gotcha. Interesting. We had a trade in the NBA today. Christian Wood goes from the Houston Rockets to the Dallas Mavericks. When I first came into the studio today, you looked at me and you said, "What did you think of the Christian Wood trade?" And my honest reaction is it's not enough. I mean, this can't be the sole move that Dallas is going to make in this offseason, and I don't expect it to be. But my first reaction was this is not the two. This is not the Robin to the Batman.
And I'm not going to say I vehemently disagree with you.
Okay.
He's a good player.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to pair him with somebody else because he's not very good defensively. So I like Christian Wood a lot. I actually think this could work out the way they thought Kristaps Porzingis was going to work out. Now, do you need another player? Absolutely.
Yes.
You'll have Jalen Brunson, you'll have Luka Doncic, Christian Wood, and end of message.
Spencer Dinwiddie.
I stick by what I said. He's fine. He's a nice bench piece. But you need another guy.
But it was the price. It was the price for Christian Wood that made me go, they gave up who?
Boban
Marjanovic.
Who's actually the best player that they gave up.
Yes. Marquise Chris, Trey Burke.
And Sterling Brown, along with the 26th pick in the NBA draft. Which is irrelevant.
I mean, that would be one of the, like, if you got that in a fantasy football league, that would be like instant smash.
Immediate.
Yes. I will take it.
He did average almost 18 points a game and 10 rebounds a game.
Mm-hmm.
So he is certainly going to help in that.
Yep. He can be a 2010 guy, and, he does add some length. He can run the floor pretty well. I think it's a good move, but again, this is This is not the player you're looking for. I'll do the whole Jedi way.
Well, I mean, it's the best thing you're going to do. You don't have any assets. All right, so you want a player better than that. Let's a player that I feel like could be moved in the offseason, Bradley Beal. What exactly are you going to offer for him?
Right.
That they're not going to instantaneously laugh at you. Because you don't have any young players. You have Luka. It's Luka and, Jalen Brunson, he's nice. Christian Wood is the big man equivalent of Jalen Brunson.
Mm-hmm.
So, yay, good for you. This makes you the 4th best team in the West? 5th if Denver's healthy?
Yeah. Potentially so. It depended on what Denver can do in the draft.
Oh, I don't really care what they do in the draft. They got rid of JaMychal Green. That's
all you care about.
Plenty for me.
That's all you care about.
His name was followed by the obscenity that's written on that guy's tombstone about 700 times over the course of the season.
Does this move make the Dallas Mavericks better?
Absolutely.
Unequivocally, yes. Does it make them any more of a title contender? Smidge. Just a smidge.
Just a little bit.
Right.
I will also say this. If you're buying Houston Rocket tickets for next year, I'm going to need to know why.
Because I'm loyal to my team, and I just want to load Tillman Fertitta's pockets.
So I did a little digging.
Okay.
Aside from the players in this deal, how many players on the Houston Rockets roster can you actually name?
Oh, gosh.
2 of them were top 5, or one of them was a top 5 pick. One of them was actually pretty talented.
I mean, on the Rockets roster?
Yes.
I mean, there's Jalen Greene and Singh.
Kevin Porter Jr. and Eric Gordon. I thought those were free spaces on the board.
I haven't thought about the Houston Rockets in a year.
Neither has anyone else.
Exactly.
Here are just some of the other high notes. Obviously, you got Trey Burke and all that. Dennis Schroeder is on this team, as is Kenyon Martin Jr. and Alperen Sengun.
Oh, that's
which
right.
is
Alperen
who they made
Sengun.
this deal for. They will also probably be taking Paolo Banchero in the NBA draft. They pick at 3. Jabari Smith is going to go 1. Chet Holmgren is going to go 2.
That's not sexy.
No.
That's not sexy at all.
No, I literally think they should give these tickets away at a bus stop. You are taking public transportation, saving gas. Here are 11 Rockets tickets.
Right.
Thank you for your contribution to our city.
Meanwhile, Christian Wood now gets to go to a contending team, and we'll see how it goes. Again, it's not the move that is going to make you a legit better contender than you were this year, but you're a little better. You are a little better.
I think there's a lot of opening next year. And that kind of goes back to the dynasty talk we were having earlier with Golden State.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think they're going to walk to a finals again next year.
No. I mean,
I don't
contend.
think they'll contend, yes, but I don't necessarily think this team's going to age all that well. And so now you've got a wide open Western Conference where you have a slew of teams that are good. You've just never seen them do it.
Mm-hmm.
Memphis, Denver. I think Minnesota is going to be greatly improved. Then you get into the Clippers and Utah and
Phoenix.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't mention Phoenix.
And well, that's because Chris Paul's 900 years old, and I'm not sure what they're going to do with DeAndre
And we
Ayton.
can all stick around for the Lakers hype again.
Oh, stop. Stop.
Yeah.
The LA Lakers are fractionally better than the Houston Rockets.
Fractionally?
It's just this close.
That hurts. That hurts a lot to say.
I'll put it this way. The Lakers are closer to Houston than they are to virtually any team I just said.
Nice.
Including my 2023 NBA champion Denver Nuggets.
Oh, there it is.
There it is. You knew I was setting up for something.
Can't get through an NBA season without that. In the NFL, there's a lot of talk surrounding Lamar Jackson and what the future is going to be for Lamar Jackson with the Baltimore Ravens. Will they give him the big, long extension that he's seeking? Will they continue to play the year-by-year game? I haven't changed. Have you changed? Have you changed your mind on that's the way you play this? You just franchise tag him.
No, I have changed my mind on this.
Okay.
solely because Lamar is such a team guy. And it has been made unabashedly clear that the salary cap in the NFL does not mean squat.
Mm-hmm.
Now, am I going to give him $45 million a year? Probably not. But I think you could go to Lamar and say, all right, 40 for 4. That takes you to his year 30 season, rewards him for being the ultimate team guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think he would say no. I really don't. Now, you could be in a very ugly situation 4 years from now, but I'm going to kick that can down the road.
Right.
This team is so built around Lamar Jackson, they're going to get this figured out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what he didn't say, which is what he would do if they don't get this done, that spoke more levels to me than anything else. He would not say what his plan was. I don't see any path that he sits out. I also don't see any path they don't get this done before that comes up.
I don't think he has another plan. I don't think
he's
he
just
wants
not
to
that.
have
He's just
another
not that guy. You know, and that's the. There is a merit to that in professional sports.
Mm-hmm.
Having a player that is just so dead committed to your franchise that you can build an entire roster around because you know we're just going to get it done.
Yeah.
And to me, it's the dichotomy between Lamar Jackson and Kyler Murray. It's the reason I believe completely in Baltimore, and I believe in gas station hot dogs more than I believe in the Arizona Cardinals.
I see no path where Lamar Jackson is not continuing to be the starting quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens for the foreseeable future.
I think they get it done. And I've long said I think he's the next one to get a deal done because he's the one I don't think will. And I've heard all this talk of he has to look at the Deshaun Watson deal and the $230 million guaranteed and blah, 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 blah. No, somebody has to reset that market because that is stupid.
It's going to play a role, though.
I don't think
here
it
you
will.
go. It would play a role in any other signing.
That's kind of my point. That's the reason I think Lamar Jackson is next.
Yeah,
because you currently have a complete standoff with the Cardinals and Kyler Murray. They're not even in the ballpark of each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure how close Lamar and the Ravens are. I just have a much better feeling about those two coming together and doing something mutually beneficial.
And this may be a benefit to not only the Baltimore Ravens, but the rest of the league as well to reset that quarterback number after the Deshaun Watson deal because there's not an agent pushing. I think that's going to matter a lot. I'm not saying Lamar Jackson's mom can't represent him and do it admirably. I'm just saying, you know, we're Drew Rosenhaus, his agent, you can guarantee that the Deshaun Watson contract will be talked about way more.
I don't necessarily think that's I don't think that the agent thinks that big of a deal.
Okay.
Here's what I do think is a big deal. Steve Bisciotti is a big deal. That's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
That is the biggest thing that happens in the NFL that nobody ever seems to talk about. Do you know where I'm headed with this?
No.
Where do you think he falls in richest owners?
Oh, no clue.
He's currently 8.
Okay.
$5.8 billion. You know who the top 3 are?
Tepper's got to be up there.
Tepper's 1. Jerry Jones is 2.
Mm-hmm.
And about half of his wealth is tied up in the Cowboys. He's not as fluid as a lot of these other owners are. Stan Kroenke's 3.
Oh, yeah.
The reason that team has stayed together.
Walton's is 1, but that's not.
Yeah, but
the deal's not done yet.
The deal's not done yet, so that doesn't. But I mean, that's the reason. If you're a Broncos fan, you should be completely excited about the fact you now have one of the richest owners in sports, because the ability to be that fluid is the difference. The reason that Rams team has stayed together is because Stan Kroenke is cutting $40 million checks on site. Done it with Matthew Stafford. Done it with Aaron Donald, and now Cooper Kupp. That's the difference between these teams because of the loophole. It is a complete loophole in the way the CBA is written of if you're giving these insane upfront payments, you can delay a lot of these other numbers, and the numbers are fictitious, and you can move them around all the ways you want to. That void years work for one kind of owner. I have 9, 7, $5.5 billion. You get into the bottom half of this, they can't afford to do that. If this was And I'm going to use my team. Woody Johnson's not in the top half of the league in terms of money, and he is very non-fluid.
Mm-hmm.
Jets couldn't do that. That is the competitive advantage of a Rams, Cowboys, Panthers, Jacksonville Jaguars, Miami Dolphins. You have owners that have so much money that if they have a player like that, they're not letting them get away. You ask the cap guy, you figure that out. I'm going to cut checks. You keep them here and figure everything else out.
Game 6 of the NBA Finals tonight. Jeremy, it's your chance to win the folks some more money. It's time to put 5 on it.
This is an entire weekend 5 on it. First, I got 50 on it. Colorado Avalanche minus the 150 against Tampa Bay. Based off what I saw in that arena last night, it had been almost 3,500 days since they hosted a Stanley Cup game, and it absolutely played a role in last night. I think it'll play a role in game 2. I got 50 on it. Avalanche minus 150. Next, I got 50 on it under the 210 between Boston and Golden State tonight. I could see a game 7 going over the number. I softly projected that would be about 212.5. The under has crushed in the vast majority of these games. I don't see a path that it's not going to happen tonight, too. I do think this game is closer, which tends to push you to over instead of under, and that's why the numbers move so much. I got 50 on it, under 210. Finally, I got 100 on it. Boston Celtics minus 170 in the money line. We're going to game 7. I think it'll be close, but it's in Boston, and I don't think Boston's going to lose in Boston.
That's putting your money where your mouth is. All right, so 200 on the line for the weekend action in the NBA Finals and the NHL's Stanley Cup playoffs.
I got to try to get healthy after game 5 because that was an offer.
Yeah.
Oh for all the picks.
Didn't go well. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, and don't forget to take all your wagers over to BetUs.com. Use the promo code Sportsocracy and get a 125% deposit bonus on whatever you put in, up to $2,500. When we come back, Jeremy will be mad as we wrap it up for the week.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is stop and go 26 westbound west of Hendersonville Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound light delays between Brevard Road and the French Broad River. 40 westbound delays between the Smoky Park Highway and George's Branch Road. Sweden Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road slow. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Again, Brevard Road northbound light delays between Clayton Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's Breakfast Baconator. Don't let breakfast be boring when it could be better. Wendy's Breakfast Baconator will have you feeling sunny side up all day long. Wake up to fresh cracked eggs, savory sausage, and oven-baked bacon, of course. Order it and start looking forward to tomorrow morning at participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours only.
We're in the most active season of the year right now, but if you have joint pain, you can't live like you want to. Hip pain, knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain. It sucks the fun out of living. But I've got fantastic news. QC Kinetics is helping people here get the fun back with advanced regenerative treatments from local medical professionals. Regenerative medicine is the hottest thing going. It's basically taking growth factors with healing properties from your own body, highly concentrated, and then putting them into your aching joints. This exciting in-office non-surgical treatment can repair and restore damaged tissue in your joints, giving you real lasting relief from pain. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in these cutting-edge, all-natural options, and the patient satisfaction reports are incredible. They have over 100 clinics nationwide, including right here. Yes, you can get real relief from pain with no surgery, no drugs, no downtime. Stop putting it off. Call QC Kinetics now and get a totally free in-office consultation. Call 828-333-9517 in Asheville and in Greenville. That's 828-333-9517.
This Father's Day, find the sweetest products and prices at Lowe's. Give him a taste of his favorite tools with $50 savings on a Craftsman 20-volt 2-tool combo kit. Was $149, now $99. Or get Dad grilling with a special buy Master Forge 4-burner gas grill for $198, valued at $219. There's nothing sweeter than Father's Day at Lowe's. Home to any budget, home to any possibility. While supplies last, valid 6/16 through 6/19.
It's so sticky.
At Hannah's Organic Honey, business may be sweet, but they need an e-commerce queen bee to lead the hive.
Okay, these jars are going to Jakarta. Oh, wait a minute. Does that say Jackson?
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Earn up to $500 in sponsored job credits by interviewing on Indeed. Visit Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Staples' free PC tune-up event is this Saturday and Sunday. Bring your existing PC to any Staples to improve your startup and operating speeds and junk file removal. Plus, get free tune-up software good for a year. Valid in-store on existing Windows devices only. Appointments encouraged by phone or in-store. Staples.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
Dirty Perky shark back flat.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore.
Shark back flat.
Let the hate flow through you.
Well, Greg Hardy's in the news again. If you remember that name, it's because he was a Carolina Panther until he did a slew of crimes and then had a sweet failed UFC career. Well, now he has an agreement to bare-knuckle box. Can we stop giving these people camera time, please? The Jake Paul, Logan Paul, Greg Hardy. Can we stop with this for the love of all that's good and holy? I didn't have much of a mad, but I saw this earlier and went, yeah, I'm going to throw one quick jab at Greg Hardy. And, you know, he's shown a predilection to eat those and fall down. I'm mad.
It's just the next step. It's the next step. You got Frank Gore joining the boxing ranks, and now bare-knuckle boxing is where Greg Hardy wants to go. Interesting. We got big doings going on going on this weekend over at our brand new sponsor, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
They have an ACV live event, 10 to 4 on Saturday. You bring your car in. They will appraise it. After 20 minutes, they will put it into an auction where 16,000 dealers from across the country will bid to purchase your car. After 20 minutes, they will give you a real cash offer that you can take or leave. It's totally up to you. 629 Brevard Road, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville. Take your car over there. If you do, if you have it appraised, they will, if you mention this ad, they will give you 2 free tickets to the Colt Ford event at Silverado's this weekend.
Nice.
Also a partner of the show. Mention that you heard this on the Sportsocracy. They will give you weekend pass for both events this weekend.
Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville. We are glad to have them on board as a new sponsor of the show, and we are always glad to have you along with us each and every afternoon right here on ESPN Asheville and on YouTube.
It's the great win-win. We love Fred, and they're giving you tickets to Colt Ford and Caleb Johnson this weekend just for having your car appraised. All you got to do is tell them you heard it from us.
Unfortunately, it is going to be a few days until we see you again. We will not be here tomorrow because of Braves baseball.
And you know what that means. Come Tuesday, it's going to be 7 weeks of commercial-free football.
Nice. Yes, we will kick into off-season mode with the NFL, fantasy football, all those kinds of things going to be talked about, but we will be taking a 4-day weekend with the Juneteenth holiday coming up on Monday as well. We'll be back with you right here on ESPN Asheville at 3 o'clock on Tuesday. Have a great weekend.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
There will be some relief from the heat by the weekend. As far as tonight is concerned, an occasional shower thunderstorm initially, then partly cloudy with patchy fog overnight and a low down to 69. After a sunny start to Friday, there may be a few afternoon thunderstorms popping up with a high near 90. Rain will exit tomorrow evening with an overnight low down to 68. And this is beautiful weather for the weekend with sunshine on Saturday and Sunday and high temperatures in the upper 70s to low 80s. I'm Jeff Marr from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Discover. If you're a valued customer, you deserve a simple gesture of appreciation from your credit card company. And that's why Discover matches all of the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year. Discover. Exceptionally common sense. Learn more at discover.com/match. Limitations apply.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is stop and go 26 westbound west of Hendersonville Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound light delays between Brevard Road and the French Broad River. 40 westbound delays between the Smoky Park Highway and George's Branch Road. Sweden Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road slow. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Again, Brevard Road northbound, light delays between Clayton Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. I'm Lee Minfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. It's time to say goodnight to that check engine light with the free AutoZone Fix Finder service. It'll help troubleshoot the likely cause of your light for free, so you can drive with peace of mind. Restrictions apply. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.